Ninth Street show was significant, in part, because it was organized by the artists themselves, and it furnished an exciting impetus to the current avant-garde. It followed an artist demonstration against the Metropolitan Museum for not showing Americans, and preceded, by a few months, the series of debates organized by members of the club, the Association of Artists, including Kotin, who created a new vocabulary for art, theory, and practice in the 50s. These debates were intended to have the title Abstraction and Expressionism, but came to be referred to as Abstract Expressionism. Albert Kotin was centrally situated within the explosion of exuberant painting that took place in New York at mid-century, and he lived and worked in a building on East 10th Street that was occupied by other art world colleagues. He was represented in the legendary Ninth Street show by this strong abstract canvas, which demonstrates well how he was able to build energy and make that a principal subject by allowing pigment, gesture, line, and form to work independently. Everything is fluid and free, and the tangles of color seem to invent a complex space based on the inherent optical weight of the tones. We sense a rich pileup of levels of action. This action crosses the entire field of the canvas, eliminating central, single-point composition and making the whole seem very dynamic. Painter Ashil Gorky drew this portrait of Kotin in the early 40s. Throughout the 1950s, Kotin shared in the key events of the community of abstract artists, participating, for example, in the Stable Gallery annuals, which in a sense were a successor to the Ninth Street show. The artist-run co-op galleries played a major role in the vitality of the New York art world in the 50s. Most were near or on East 10th Street, where Kotin and about 20 others had studios. Kotin's central position within this milieu was documented in Harold Rosenberg's 1958 article covering key people active on 10th Street. In this period, Kotin and his fellow artists were particularly concerned with the nature of surface, which can seem very physical, emphasizing texture, density, substance, and the sense of the tactile. The movement of pigment, as here in these broad green swirls, was also important. Many of Kotin's paintings at this time were especially vibrant, bright, and intense. The action is all over the surface and goes to the edges and even off, which was a typical and important abstract expressionist contribution. There are works from this period in which the energy is saved through a consciousness of strokes, their texture, immediacy, and vitality. A sense of flux further activates some of the most successful pieces. Physical qualities of surface dominate the large westerly, a work that generates the feeling that everything is unpredictable and does it by creating a great vortex of energy. The surface is a jumping-off point for complicated, unexpected movements. The energy of the artist's gesture is saved, and the viewer tends to recreate this energy. One can conclude that Kotin was an artist capable of many different sensibilities, all of them deeply felt. And he would have wanted his versatility and evolving approaches to art to be considered as part of different phases within the context of abstract expressionism.